At a distance of 14 kilometers from Satara, 67 kilometers from Mahabaleshwar, and around 60 kilometers from Panchgani, Pateshwar temple is an ancient temple situated at Devgaon in the Satara district of Maharashtra. It is one of the most important places and important site of Lord Shiva's temples. The main Shiva temple is one of the major attractions of Pateshwar. Built in the 16th century AD, this temple is now slightly in a bad condition. We can come here by climbing a hill road where we have to park our vehicles. After parking our vehicles, one is to walk for around 1 kilometer. Pateshwar also has 8 ancient cave temples and many ancient stone carved idols of Lord Shiva and other deities. The place is known for having more than 1000 Shivlings, also called Pindis. The Shivlings found in this temple are Ekmukdari Pindi, Chaturmukdari Pindi, Ashtadikpal Pindi, Harihar Pindi, and Yantra Pindi. Other deities found in this shrine are Ekmukhi Brahmadeva, Chaturmukh Shiva, Saraswati, Agni, Ganesha, Tripurari, Mahisasur Mardini, Ashtamatrikas, Navgrahas, and many others. There is a mutt nearby called the Sadguru Govind Nanda Swami Maharaj Mutt, and it is maintained by few sadhus who have been living here for many years. While climbing the steps, on the right side, we find a small temple of Lord Ganesha. Here in this small cave temple, we can find an image of Lord Ganesha which has been carved on a rock, and we find the two wives of Lord Ganesha, Riddhi and Siddhi. As we come to this place, we find a large pond which has been constructed within the hills, and during the rainy season it has ample water. We can find lotus flowers and lilies also. As we approach the temple, we find two beautiful Shivlingas on the way. This whole area is famous for a million type of Shivlings which have been carved in a very different and unique manners. Here in this Shivling, we find a major Shivling with a yoni and multiple small Shivlings. Just nearby it, there is another Shivling in which we find the image of a god made along with the linga, and we find multiple pindis all around the Shivlinga. As we will go further, we will find that this whole area is full of different type of Shivlings which many of us may not have witnessed earlier. To reach the main temple complex, after reaching the top of the hill, one has to walk a large number of stairs which have been very beautifully made, and on the right and the left side we find a dense forested area, and in the front we find the entrance of the Mahadev temple complex at Pateshwar. A beautiful arch has been made at the entrance. This is the look of the Pateshwar temple complex of Lord Shiva. Here we find two deep stambhas. The huge stambhas have been made out of a single rock, and in front of us we find a small mandap which houses Lord Nandi. A very beautiful image of Lord Nandi made out of basalt rock has been made here, and it looks very beautiful. This complex has a main temple, a Nandi Mandapa, and 3 minor shrines. One shrine is dedicated to Mahisasur Mardini. One shrine which see on the right side is dedicated to Chaturmukha Brahma, and one shrine is dedicated to Devi Durga. We shall be slowly entering the temple complex. As we can see, this is the top of the hill and a small flat area has been found, and this area is surrounded by a fortification. It gives the feeling of a fort when we come here. This is a very unique temple complex, and unlike any other temple complexes, this is the entrance of the door of the main temple. As we enter the temple, we find that two high level platforms have been made, and when we come inside, we find beautifully carved pillars. This is the outer mandapa, and then on the right and the left side, we find two minor shrines. When we came here, the door to the main Garbhagriha was locked. However, since the door was made up of grills, we were easily able to capture the image of the Shivlinga and the god. We will once again enter this temple complex with a wide angle lens so that we can capture the intricacies of the inner area in a more better manner. At the floor of the Garbhagriha, we find a very beautifully carved Shivling, and in the front wall there is an image of a god, a goddess probably, but we were not able to exactly identify the goddess. This is the view of the Nandi Mandap when we look from the inside of the temple. Lord Nandi is seen looking towards Lord Shiva, and Nandi is supposed to be a symbol of eternal waiting. This Nandi Mandap has been carved very beautifully. It is made up of stone. Inside the temple, we find the image of a female deity, and when we go near to it, it appears to be Durga Devi. Probably this image is of Durga Devi. If the viewer may like to correct us and let us know in the comments as to which goddess this beautiful sculpture depicts. At the center of the mandap, we find a beautifully carved turtle. Turtles are always considered auspicious in Hindu mythology, and turtle was one of the avatars of Lord Vishnu. Here again, we find two goddesses. It was very difficult for us to make a sense of these gods and deities. If the viewer is able to let us know, we shall highly appreciate it. This is another view of one more image, a beautifully carved image. At the top, we can see a naga, which is a headgear of this female deity. The eyes of the deity are closed as if in meditation. Inside this temple, we also found a very beautiful image of Lord Ganesha, which has been placed in one of the niches. This idol of Ganesha was painted with saffron, which is very usual for the Ganesha and the Hanuman images. Just outside this temple, there was a minor shrine, and it was made up of regular stonework, and at the top we found the image of Lord Ganesha. And as we enter the shrine, we find two idols. These seems to be some Devi. And from the shrine, when we look outside, we find another shrine. A symmetrical shrine has been made. Here again, instead of Gajalakshmi, we find Lord Ganesha. And as we enter, we find a very beautiful image of Mahisasur Mardini, the Devi who was born to kill the demon called Mahisasura, who was in the form of a buffalo. This is a very unique carving or sculpture where the hands have been made in a very unique manner, each hand holding a particular armament, astra or a shastra. This type of image is rarely found in any of the temples. One of the leg of the Devi is shown on the buffalo demon. This is the closer look of the Nandi Mandapa and the sculpture of Nandiji, where we find pindis or small lingas have been made, and this sculpture looks very beautiful. The background of this sculpture, in the background of the sculpture, we can find high mountains and forested land, and this gives a very beautiful appearance to this Nandi Mandapa. Just below the bell of Nandi, we can clearly see a Shivlinga and two other devotees which have been carved very beautifully. This is the side view of the Nandiji's idol, and we can find very beautifully made bells which have been made, and the ornamentation and the carving looks beautiful. There was one more shrine, a smaller shrine, which had a very unique sculpture. As we go inside the smaller shrine, we find that from a single stone, a very beautiful image of Lord Brahma has been made, in which Brahmaji is shown with four heads. This is the Chaturmukh Brahma image of Lord Brahmaji, and the garlands have been made very beautifully. The outer garland are combined. He holds two weapons, and in front of him is shown a small Shivlinga. This is one of the most unique sculptures of Brahmaji which you can find anywhere in India. This whole temple complex gives the look of a fort, and there are two big, huge deep stambhas where during the auspicious days of Shivratri, Diwali, normally earthen lamps are burned. And here the Jalabhishek which is done on Lord Shiva's in the Garbhagriha, the Abhishek water comes out and goes inside this small pond which has been made here. We can find a beautiful Shivlinga which has been made on the wall, on the outer wall of this temple. We are trying to take a parikrama of this temple so that the overall look and feel of this temple is clear. From here we can see the high hills and lots of forested land can be seen. This is a view of the temple from the corner. We can see that the Vimana or the Shikara has been made out of brick, whereas the outer walls are all made up of stone. From the back side we are moving slowly towards the front. And in front of us, we can see the tall Deep Stamba. Deep Stambas like this are very common in Maharashtra as well as in southern part of India. This is a view of the outer area of the temple. Here near a small tree, we find a very beautiful sculpture. The sculpture is a bit small. But when we go near it, we find that this looks like a man with two wings and snakes have been made. So probably this is the image of Lord Garuda, which is the enemy of the snakes. We can see snakes which have been made at the bottom, and Lord Garuda has been made with wings. The nose mimics the beak of the bird, and just adjacent to Garuda we found two Shivlingas. They were very unique Shivlingas. Here we find a normal Shivling, and on the right side a very different type of Shivling is there. In front of us we find a small shrine. This shrine is of Lord Hanuman, and just outside that we find the image of a monk which has been carved, and this sculpture looks very old. In the front, just nearer to the tree and towards the mountain, we find another shrine. This shrine is also dedicated to Lord Shiva. The shikhar of this shrine is very unique. It is a standalone building, but it gives the look of a cave, and just in front of it is a worn out Nandiji which has been made. This is the Pindi or the Shivling which is inside this isolated temple of Lord Shiva. We can see some grains of rice as well as some flowers are there on this Pindi. And this is a look of the outer area from inside this small minor shrine. Just outside a stone was there, but when we looked closer it seemed to be an image of Lord Nandi which has worn out over a period of time. Now is the time to enter the shrine of Lord Hanuman, which has been carved out of the hill, and the inner walls of the cave have been nicely built up using proper stonework. Two windows were there for ventilation and adequate light. An arch type roof has been made here. This temple complex is located at the Pateshwar hills, and one needs to be physically fit to visit this place because it involves a lot of climb, not only on the hills but also there are a lot of stone steps which lead to this hill. This area looks very beautiful during rainy season when this whole area becomes very green and lot of small waterfalls appear out of nowhere. However, visiting this site during the summer season is a tough task. However, anyone who is coming to this side of Maharashtra and particularly happens to be in Satara, we would suggest that one must come to this beautiful place. It is an ancient place, and this was the main temple complex. However, there are a set of around more than 12 caves in the hills and the forested land, which we shall try to cover in the next episode. If you have liked this small video, you may like to share it among your friends, loved ones and colleagues. Thanks for watching.